This is Old Boy 82, and this is the Prophet Murders, and that is the ugly bitch that you're going to be listening about. That is one of the relations. That is Damon. That's Alice. That's Damon. That's Jeffrey. They're called Lundgren, like Dolph, but they ain't got shit on him. And that there's a copper. Good old copper, whatever he is. Right, look. And here is the Avery family. Nice. Right, first of all, I've got to say, I'm reading from Crime Monthly magazine, yeah? And it's brilliant. Yeah, that's why you're getting these top class videos from me. Yeah, right. Just enjoy it. Right now, please just let me tell you the story and let me do it justice. Right. So look, is the Prophet Murders. Jeffrey Lundgren told his followers to kill with him. Right. So there we go. It's kind of on a Charles Manson sort of shit, isn't it? Right. So. When Devil in Ohio popped up on Netflix recently, it did so without much fanfare. But the tale of a troubled girl who escapes from a cult that offers up members as blood sacrifices. Maybe she might have wanted to get off then, let's think about it. Right, anyway, she's seen it as a powerful sense of menace. Can wonder why. And the story only became even creepier when the writer revealed it had been inspired by the real-life story of Jeffrey Lundgren, a prophet who got his followers to commit murder. Arrogant. He was born in Mississippi in 1950. Lundgren, he was raised within the confines of the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's basically, he's a Mormon, isn't it? He's a Mormon, door banker. Right. His upbringing was a strict, punctuated abuse from his father, and growing up he spent much of his time alone. But those who knew him described him as an arrogant cunt, basically, saying he would often quote long-ass Bible passages and seemed to think that he was way bigger and better than anybody else. Thought he was big and better even when he was a kid, yeah? The guy's a dick. This is a trait he carried off into adulthood with terrifying inconsequences. By the way, I just got to say, whoever wrote this for Crime Monthly has done a brilliant job, but I obviously am putting some of my own bullshit in it. That's the way I do shit. Right. When Lundgren began studying at Central Missouri State University, he met Alice Keeler. Alice is... right, he met Alice Keeler, and I lost my part in the page. What the fuck? I hope he's like me when a fellow member of the RLDS, the Mormon shit. Yeah. Right, but I don't say the Mormons are shit. I'm just saying I don't mean that really. That's the way I talk. You know what I mean? I'm dead in the head. Right. They married in 1970 when Alice got pregnant, and Lundgren, that's how it usually happens. And Lundgren went on to serve in the Navy, seeing active duty in the Vietnam War. Whoa, you seen some duty in a war that never should have happened, and you's lost because you went and fought people on marshy, boggy land that was just way out of your domain. Oh, stop it, Brad. Right, anyway, right, I was got pregnant. Lundgren went on serving in the Navy, seeing active duty in the Vietnam War, but after being honorably discharged in 1974, he struggled to hold down a job. He was stealing from anyone who did employ him. He was also physically abusive to his wife, who began convincing anyone, and he was convincing her that he was a prophet. So over the next decade, the couple went back and forth, telling me that he's a prophet, and he's telling her, and blah, 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 right? So he's a prophet, and everybody thinks so, because he's fucking said so, right? And then she's just as dumb, so she said he is. And shut up, you know what I mean? It does, shit like this pissing me off, man. Anyway, Over the next decade, the couple would have 4 children, lucky kids, together, and Alice would continue to, right, be beaten by her husband once, ending up in hospital over a ruptured spleen. In 1984, Lundgren decided to up sticks and moved the family from Missouri to Kirtland, Ohio. There they began attending the LDS Mormons again. Same thing, I'm not taking the piss again, like I said, but it's just pissing me off, all these things like CIA, FBI, fuck off. Right, Kirtland Temple is a sacred place that devotees would travel hundreds of miles to visit. A keen and devout worshipper, Lundgren was offered work as a temple guide, an unpaid position, but one that came with a place for the family to live, with an impressive knowledge of the Bible and the Book of Mormon. His sermons, which were said to be full of visions and spiritual experiences, were well received, and the temple attracted a lot of donations from those who visited. We were supposed to help others, it never happened. Typical. However, it wasn't long before the church realised that most of the money wasn't making its way to the coffers, but instead ended up in Lundgren's own pockets. By 1980, I wonder how Dolph was feeling about this. But anyway, 1987, it was estimated he had stolen up to $40,000 in donations and revenue from the bookshop and visitor centre. I must have sold some decent books there. 40 grand. Yeah. Right, anyway, never mind. Bookshop and visitor centre. Rather than alerting the authorities, they must have had prostitutes in there as well. The authorities, the church quietly asked Lundgren to leave, which he did. He made the family homeless. He left his own family homeless over his stupid ass fucking ego. Yeah, that dick. Thinking he's got himself. Clown. Right. He did this, making the family homeless, but Lundgren has slowly been strengthening his position as a spiritual leader. There's your spiritual leader. Look at him. Yeah. Whoa, your spiritual leader. Right. He was taken into custody right there by the ATF. He didn't look so fucking spiritual then, did he? Anyway, Lundgren has slowly been strengthening his position as a spiritual leader all that time, and there was a group of people who would soon prove they would do anything for him. So it's getting all Charles Manson. Right, anyway, I sound like a dick then. Right, oh, I didn't go see that one. Yeah, that looks like my mum, for Christ's sake. Well, I didn't know my mum was a fucking weirdo killer. Anyway, never mind. Well, I just fucking wish I could. Anyway, right. End of Days, not an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but when Lundgren left the temple, he moved his family into a farmhouse, establishing his own church. Several other RLD, can't be asked of it, Mormons, right, chose to leave too. And soon Richard Brand, Daniel Kraft, Kevin Koresh, Sharon Bluntschler, Gregory Winship and Debbie Olivares had moved in with the Lundgrens. One sec, I've got older boy 57 here, and I know he's going to say some shit in the background or laugh at me or some shit, I don't know. Anyway, how are you, sir? Are you alright? Yeah, great stuff. I'm reading a very, very complex murder thing here. Anyway, sorry about him, he's old and demented. Right. Ooh, where was we? I love him, really. Right, Richard Brand, Daniel Kraft, Kevin Koresh, Sharon Bluntschler, Gregory Winship and Debbie Olivares had moved in with the Lundgrens. Others had also relocated to the small Ohio town specifically to follow Lundgren. One such couple was Ron and Susan Luff. In an interview with a Cleveland newspaper in 1999, Susan said she believed they were joining an arts community and join a fucking arts community, yeah. Okay, right. Anyway, and they should be involved in local charity work. I mean, I suppose it's possible if you're brain damaged. Anyway, we were supposed to help the hungry, we were supposed to help the poor. Of course, none of that happened. Oh, she got some of it then after it. She said what did happen was that Susan was expected to do back-raking chores and even dance naked while Lundgren watched. So hang on, let me go back here. Alice is his missus, but Susan is Ron's missus, and they're just two people who go into the church. What she expected to dance naked while Lundgren watched. Now that just means that you're a fucking idiot, right? And let me see which one she is now. I'm gonna show you. I got to. I had to. It'd been naughty not to, wouldn't it? Let me see. It's got to be either her, the one who looks like my mum, right? Or the one who, I don't know, it's like a demented. Anyway, never mind, it's like Carrie or some shit. Right, anyway, so, where was that? So what did happen was that Susan was expected to do these, blah, blah, blah. The group began referring to Lundgren as Dad. They all do that in them frigging cults, don't they? And all were expected to hand him the money. That's just like the Mormons. They earn from their day jobs. And I'm not taking a piss out you Mormon lads, you know, going around knocking on people's doors and annoying them all frigging day. Not that I'm saying anything, but anyway, they hand him the money they earn from their day jobs in order to exert ever more control. It sounds like extort more control to me over them. Lundgren began pretending that he's receiving messages from a higher power. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Yeah. Oh, God. Right. So he's receiving all this shit, yeah. And he's saying he can read his followers' minds. In fact, he was simply eavesdropping on them. What? Right. Evenings had been spent listening to Lundgren quoting his scriptures, but it was clear something wasn't right. The devout Lundgren had a gun. He wore camouflage clothing. Sounds more like a frigging mercenary to me. Anyway, another family who moved to the community to follow Lundgren were the Averys. Right, let's go back to the Averys. That's the Averys. Good, like American dream sort of family. Ugly as shit. But anyway, never mind. Right. So, I'm not sure what that again. Right. Another family who moved to the community to follow Lundgren were the Averys, Dennis and Cheryl, and the daughters, Trina 15, Rebecca 13, and Karen 7. You'll be able to work out who was who from the pitch that I just showed you rather crudely. However, they had trouble integrating. Rather than join the farmhouse community, they chose to live in their own house, something Lundgren was said to have branded sinful. Right, they also subjected Lundgren, no, they didn't subject him, they rejected Lundgren's assertion that women were inferior and should be obedient to men, and he developed a dislike of them, which would later seal their fate. We know what this is going on. Most of Lundgren's attention was still focused on the influential Kirtland Temple, but his messages were becoming ever more outlandish. He's going batshit crazy, relating to the end of days and only the faithful surviving. In 1988, the subversive and disruptive Lundgren was excommunicated from the Mormons, right? But according to court documents, Lundgren continued his classes. He was stressing the importance of the Kirtland Temple. He said his followers had to recapture the temple. He wanted to go to war to get his temple back. So Christ would return. Coincidentally, the second coming was due to happen on Lundgren's own birthday. So Jesus, he was the Messiah. You're not the Messiah, you're a very naughty boy. Right, the court records also stated Lundgren had spoke of his conversations with God and his visions. Right, court records should have also said he was batshit crazy, mental, fucking idiot. Deviant. Anyway, he discussed the Book of Revelations and the Book of Mormon and probably the books by Penguin or some shit like that. And I don't know, a pickle for the figure. I don't know about that idiot that is, who made a lot of money. Anyway, David Dexter. And referring to pruning the vineyard. But what he was really talking about was murder. Lundgren began asserting that his followers needed to kill 10 followers before Zion could be created. Well, Zion to me is like that. It's a Jewish thing, and then it's just like a Rasta thing, and bomb. Anyway, I just spat my phone. In order to prepare what was by now a full-blown cult for their day of reckoning, he had the men begin combat training. Oh, it's getting good now, what's evil? Right, wearing military outfits and learning how to use knives and guns. Lundgren's plan was simple. My plan's simple. I hope to God that older boy 57 does not come in and fuck this up because it's going good. Anyway, hi older boy 57. How are you? You got older boy 57. Yeah, what did you just do? See, he is retarded. Right, anyway, Lundgren's plan was simple. Storm the temple in order to take it over and kill anyone who got in their way, but the plan was thwarted when several locals in the small community alerted the police, including Kevin Curry, who had by now fled the group. Although there wasn't enough evidence to arrest Lundgren, the local police chief made sure he knew they were being watched, so Lundgren was forced to abandon his deadly scheme. He told his followers that it had been decreed by God. Thwarted, Lundgren carried on teaching, but his resentment simmered. He sought to exert an even greater grasp upon his acolytes, and anyone who didn't agree with everything that he said would be singled out for intimidation. In his mind, his main antagonists were the Avery family, who were the only ones not handing over their life savings. Mormons. Anyway, I'm not calling you though. Right, continuing to live apart from Lundgren and his remaining followers, he also resented the fact that the woman in the family was strong-minded and independent, saying dismissively that Cheryl wore the pants. So yeah, he had one normal comment in his life. Right, so when his mind went back to finding the promised land, he decided that he needed to move his followers off the grid, but not everyone was going to be welcome. Lundgren was going to decree that they needed to offer a blood sacrifice. Right, and the ones chosen to die were the Avery family. Oh, blood sacrifice. Right. On the 17th of April 1989, Lundgren put his terrible plan into motion, and the Averys were invited to shut up, man. The Averys were invited to visit him at the farmhouse. There, while the cult's women chatted to Cheryl, yeah, do you know what? Just let me show you the what you may call it. There, it's there. And there, and there, and there, and more boring there, and then just bigger and more boring there. Right, there's no bed. There. Right, these are some loons. There. 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 Hey, we're gonna get good at this stuff, but even though you didn't crap with it. Right, look. And then, right, let's go back on. Right, so they're gone all off the grid. The ones chosen to die were the Avery family. 17th of April 1989, Lundgren put the terrible plan into motion. The Averys were invited to visit him at the farmhouse. There, while the cult's women chatted to Cheryl and the three young Avery girls, Dennis was lured out to a nearby barn. Woo! Dumbass. There, he was, I'm calling him a dumbass, that's a bit rude, but at the end of the day, if you're dealing with a guy like this, you're going to expect something a bit weird, you know what I mean? Yeah, the guy's obviously anyway. So, there, while the cult's women chatted to Cheryl and the three young Avery girls, Dennis flew out to nearby that barn. There he was confronted with a horrifying sight. A 7-foot hole dug into the ground. Okay, I bet the guy's back was absolutely knackered. Unless he had a JCB, like Nizloppy, the kid. My dad, anyway, listen, Lundgren's son, Damon, I've got that in my head now. Lundgren's son, Damon, as well as a cult members, Brand, Love, Winsip, and Kraft were all there when Dennis was bound and gagged with duct tape and taken to Lundgren. Unable to beg for his life or knowing what would happen to his wife and daughters, he was shot twice in the back by Lundgren. Horrifyingly, Cheryl was then lured out to the barn after being told Dennis needed her. She met the same dreadful fate. Right, yeah. These are the people that got wigged, right? There. So he took him out. That guy looks like he could be normal harm. He does look like he could be in some other ways, but I ain't gonna go into it. But and then you got that woman who looks like a school teacher. But I mean, no matter what silly things I say about them, they didn't deserve just doing it like that. It ain't right, is it? You know what I mean? So anyway, right, she's got this same dreadful fate as Lundgren. I cannot say I am sorry for what God made me do. Let's see where that come from. So, he shot her 3 times in the chest and the stomach. The girls were not to escape. Court reports documented. Okay, somebody just fucking text me some shit. Anyway, court reports documented that Lundgren shot Trina once in the head and twice in the body, Rebecca in the back and the thigh, and Karen in the head and the chest. Loaf would later confess that he had carried 7-year-old Karen out to the barn on his shoulders. In an astonishing twist, the police turned up at the farmhouse the day after the murders. They were responding to local concerns that a cult was being run there, but tragically, Lundgren was all able to convince them that nothing was wrong, and they had no idea of the events that had just transpired. So a lot of murders just happened, a lot of people have been executed, and police have been stood there and didn't know shit. It's pretty sad, you know. And I do actually find things sad sometimes. Right, listen. So, the close shave was enough to make the group flee, and they made their way to West Virginia. They stayed together for months, but Lundgren's days were numbered when he decided to make follower Katherine Johnson his second wife. The move angered her estranged husband Larry Johnson, who tipped off law enforcement about the murders. In January 1990, police searched the farmhouse and found the bodies of the Avery family. Lundgren and his cult members were arrested over the following days, and many were charged with offences relating to the Avery's deaths. Good. While most accepted plea deals in the return for the lenient sentences, just let me say what I said good then. These people who go on about cults and all that, they're just idiots. It's like all religion's brainwashing you. I ain't calling our religion. It might get some people through bad times, thick times. Every one of us, I've been in police cells, I've been in jail a lot of time, but years, half my life. But I've sat down when I'm in the police station and I've been like, oh God, please help me. God, please don't let me get done for this. Please, God, please. Oh, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, right, God is there if you want him to be there. And he might not be whatever. He's different to whatever. He's whatever you want him to be. To me, he's like a Harry Potter novel. Like Harry Potter's Daniel Radcliffe. But I still love the fact that Danny can do his levy bloody art and make things harder. You know what I mean? You get me? It's just, it's a nice, easy way for people to get through life, yeah? And if it's doing that, what's wrong with it? But when it causes wars and all that shit and shit like this, then it ain't all that good. Because dickheads like this wreck it. So, he was able to convince him that nothing was wrong, that he had no idea of the events that just transpired. The close shave was enough to make the group flee, and they made their way to West Virginia. They stayed together for months, but Lundgren's days were numbered when he decided to make a follower Katherine Johnson his second wife. I've already gone through this, but I'm rereading it for you for a reason. The move angered her estranged husband Larry. I told you about this, so he gets onto the fucking police. He drops the dime, gets to the blower, rings the 5-0, the Federale and all that, yeah, blah, the boys in blue, right? So they come, they find all the bodies, right? There'll be tents up and all sorts of shit. I ain't got no pictures of that for you, though. But, right, they was charged with offences relating to the Avery's deaths, which to me, I would say that they were charged with murder. Or manslaughter at least, but it can't be manslaughter. Anyway, okay. But America's different, isn't it? Over the following days, and many were charged with offences related to the Avery's death. Most accepted plea deals in return for the lenient sentences. The arrogant Lundgren insisted on his day in court. On the 29th of August, Lundgren was found guilty of aggravated murder and kidnapping. Speaking against the verdict, Lundgren declared, I am not a false prophet, and therefore I am not worthy of the penalty sought by those who seek my death. I cannot say that I am sorry. What I did and what God commanded me to do in the physical act. Despite his orations, he was sentenced to death. No shit. Right. He was sentenced to death, eventually dying by lethal injection in 2006. Right, I think I covered enough for that there. Look, you've got him. Yeah, that was Daniel Kraft and Catherine Johnson when they was arrested. Right, and then underneath you've got just a scene from Devil in Ohio, which I believe is a film that was started, like depicts some of it. Yet again is your folks, your little cult, right? And then there's the one who looks like me home again. I'm gonna show you a picture of him just as fucking not now, but I'm not even thinking of a picture of her. But these are your people that went absolutely bonkers to follow that just buffoon, right? So back to me. Yep, I just done that in the weirdest way ever, right? But that's what you expect from me. Yeah, you're just gonna get a guy from the estate just doing this shit. Yeah, if you like it, you like it. If you don't watch it. I probably took way too long. How long's the frigging thing took now? Oh, it's been 26 minutes. I don't mind. It's not too much longer than a balling or your big up Mike, that chapter and all that. Anyway, but look, here. See that magazine? That's what I'm reading to you from. I might change a lot of stuff because they don't talk like wombats in there. They just start talking all sorts of crap like I do. What they do is they do it professionally. I'm giving it how you'd want it to be. I hope there's a bit of humour in it, and I hope that maybe when I get all my stuff together and start doing it proper, I'll edit stuff up and all that. But at the minute, I think it's just a little bit. There's a bit of a laugh in it for you to see some dickhead get on after he's pretty stoned and just tell you a story. And with that gorgeous voice that I have, yeah, maybe you might fucking get you to sleep. Maybe your girl might fancy me. Maybe your man might start fancying me. Maybe your mum might start fancying me. Maybe you might start fancying me. Yeah, you probably will. Anyway, listen, fuck it. Right, listen, it's Old Boy 82. There's only one of me. 3 people show up on there when you see Old Boy 82. It's one. Tis moi. Neck cross sign on the neck, man. Don't fuck around. That is me. Right? Please, can I say big up to Mike O, which is Mike and then OH is in O, right? Mike O, yeah, and that's that chapter, Mike. And then can I also say my man who sounds like Crowley from Dire Trip, yeah, you're absolutely sick. I can't remember your name at the minute, you're brilliant. Crowley himself, he's alright. You got a good few people that are alright. I mean, these Anna Roots ones that are all on the bullshit, like there's like a fucking farmer just breeding shit, you know what I mean? There's got computerized voice and all that, and this American girl who just sounds so much like Avril Lavigne. I know, fuck off. Listen, you want to watch something real, come and watch Old Boy 82 and Old Boy 57 when he's about. Take care. Bye bye.